welcome to the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee meeting for February 23rd, 2026. Can we please call the roll?
Cramp.
Here.
Peterson.
Here.
Canuck.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Bulow.
Here.
Rutez.
Here.
Tolman.
Here.
Amazing, we're all here. And Crystal, would you please do the land acknowledgement?
We are gathered here on the lands that were originally home to the Menominee and Ho-Chunk nations. We honor the Menominee and Ho-Chunk communities and are grateful for their stewardship of the land and waters. We acknowledge these ancestral grounds as sacred and remember the complex history of settler colonialism on these lands and the effects that persist today. We commit to a restorative and healing relationship of the original inhabitants and our community.
Thank you. Hunter, would you like to do the mission statement, please?
The mission of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion DEI Committee is to create a more welcoming, connected, and equitable Oshkosh by consciously including the richness and complexities of marginalized voices in its planning and function.
Wonderful. And now we need to approve the minutes from the January 26th meeting. Does anyone have any comments about the minutes? No? Okay, we need a motion to...
Move to approve.
Second.
Wonderful. Can we call the roll, please?
Cramp.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Canuck.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Bulow.
Aye.
Thank you. Are there any citizen statements for the DEI committee or any public comment?
No, we do not have anyone registered for either.
Wonderful. Okay. So now we have our lovely presentation from Amaya Thomas, and then Mariah Meadow is also here from the Oshkosh West Black Student Union. Thank you.
Yeah, hi, my name is Amia Thomas. I am a senior at Oshkosh West, and this is our BSU advisor, Mariah.
Hi, I'm Mariah Meadow.
So just a little backstory. I am from Green Bay, but I live in Oshkosh. I moved here the summer of 4th grade, and it was kind of difficult seeing people. I'm not really used to seeing people that didn't really look like me, so it was kind of difficult for like a little 8-year-old. I started Oshkosh West in the fall of 2022. Yeah. And yeah, it was like kind of different. I didn't really have that many friends. I didn't really feel as welcomed, and I knew there was somebody out there that felt the same way that I did, and kind of went through the same background as me. So I wanted to start a club for people that look like me or have the same background as me to feel more safe and welcomed, and just have a group to themselves where they can go to if they need help. And that's how I came up with the Oshkosh West Black Student Union. Our mission statement of the Black Student Union is to promote cultural awareness, educate the school community regarding issues faced by Black students, and celebrate and promote Black excellence. We aim to create an inclusive and supportive environment that fosters unity, empowerment, and positive change. For our vision, the Black Student Union strives to be a catalyst for social, educational, and personal growth, empowering Black students to achieve their full potential with fostering a sense of pride in their cultural heritage. Our BSU core values is curiosity and integrity, excellence, leadership, and accountability. Our BSU executive board positions is president, vice president, secretary, activities coordinator, social media coordinator, and treasurer. I am the activities coordinator. Our biggest thing is to create like a safe environment, obviously for our Black and brown students. Our community agreements is to stay engaged, no blame, shame, or judgment, allow for discomfort, keep an open mind. And actually one of my favorite agreements is allow for discomfort, because you have to be uncomfortable to get comfortable, and that's something that I always live by. Non-negotiables, no use of the phrase shut up, communicate absences by Monday before Wednesday workshop, no horseplay or disrespect. And a little bit of our non-negotiables is to kind of promote that leadership role and get better with communication, because not everybody have been open to, you know, some of the stuff other people have learned and everything. So just teaching the kids like communication and to just be respectful of peers and everything, and know just like when, where, place, everything. We do like a lot of activities and a lot of events in our community. We have a lot of guest speakers that come in and speak to our group. One of the recent one was People of Progression. They come and speak to some of the kids. Mariah, you be at some of the after school meetings. Do you want to kind of talk about that?
Yeah, so it's a partnership with the district and People of Progression to provide peer conflict training to the students. So about twice a month, People of Progression comes into Oshkosh West High School, and they do a curriculum with the students on different social emotional and training and how to do how to interact and solve peer conflict with others.
And yeah, and with just those guest speakers alone, I have seen like a positive change in some of our kids, you know, actions and everything, and they've been becoming more able to communicate to and get to and, you know, expressing their feelings, and we love that. We also do a lot of involvement in like school activities. We make sure that we always have a group for homecoming, snow blast. So those are our two main dances other than prom, because prom is just for juniors and seniors. But homecoming and snow blast, not a lot of kids have like friends to do groups with, and it has to be a certain amount of people. So BSU always allows kids to join that, and that's really good because you make a lot of new friends, and I've made a lot of new friends, so I like that because I'm very social. A lot of the other events we do is the day-by-day warming shelter. The top picture, that's when we served a meal, a nice Alfredo casserole. Yeah, and we just do a lot of different community events. We make sure to volunteer as much as we can, and yeah. Those are some of our activities. Down, we did a mentorship program. That's me in the gray.
We still do.
Huh?
We still do.
Yeah. We still do, and we mentor middle school kids, Havel Phillips, and I've seen positive change with that too. Yeah.
There's snow blast activities that we did on the right, and then on the left, one of the elementary schools in the Oshkosh Area School District, Lakeside Elementary, they asked us to attend their Exploring Cultures event. So we made bracelets with students there. So, yeah.
Do you want to talk about some of the post-secondary opportunities?
Sure. So part of my role in the Oshkosh Area School District is the post-secondary navigator. So which that means to provide different post-secondary opportunities to students of the bottom low fourth quartile of the district. That includes students of color, students that are receiving specialized services, students that have IEPs or 504s, students that are linguistically diverse, and students of low socioeconomic status. So that is the main part of my role. I'm also the BSU staff advisor. So kind of it's, I'd say, rolled into partnership with all of that. We do field trips to local businesses and colleges. So often it's UW Oshkosh, Fox Valley Tech, and other colleges through the state of Wisconsin. The top picture there is in UW-Madison, and the bottom photo is at the Fox Valley Tech Oshkosh Riverside campus. We also do career exploration opportunities. So we've gone to job fairs. There's a partnership with a local nonprofit. They're called, well, they were Pointers. I can't remember their new name. CIW is their acronym. So we do a program with them each semester where they can explore different careers. And then over the past summer, we partnered with Fox Valley Tech to attend their Camp Light, which also gives them the opportunity to experience different careers. And then the students experience personal growth, development, and critical thinking through BSU. And as Mia talked about, students are provided with various opportunities to lead discussions and plan events. So Mia is a great part of that, of planning activities and different events that we're doing. Last week we had our Black History Gallery Walk event where participants were able to walk around and learn and educate themselves on different figures and events that have contributed to our society that some people may not be aware of. And then we also provide networking with peers and professionals. So as mentioned, we partner with Val Phillips Middle School for the mentorship program. Students have a chance to visit local businesses and host professional guest speakers during meetings. So there's lots of connections being made, meeting professionals, and next month we'll be having a mock interview event where students are pretending to interview for 2 different jobs, and then they will get feedback from those that are interviewing them. And the interviewers are also strategically, they look like the students so that they have different experiences and different backgrounds that they can attest to. So, yeah. And that is the end.
And that's BSU.
Very cool.
So you're the BSU at West. There's one at North as well?
Mhm.
Okay.
That started a couple years prior to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Good job.
Thank you.
How many students participate in these events regularly? Do you have a membership, or how many
Yeah.
people about that are in?
I would say some of the events vary just because some be during school where everybody's all there, and some be after school to where some people work. I work, and I know a couple other of our members work as well. So we see between 8 and 15 people normally.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Sometimes on field trips it's up to 25, so it's kind of all
Yeah.
across the board.
Yeah.
Do you ever have BSU from both schools get together? Maybe I missed if you said that.
That would be cool.
We occasionally do. So recently there's a change where I go to both schools in my position. And I just started working with the BSU in December there. So I'd say where we keep our school activities in-house, but we the students wanted to invite each other to their Black History Month events.
Yeah.
So West invited North, and North has one this week where they're inviting West. We also we're invited to attend the North and West basketball game, to support students on the team. And then there was actually a past event at the Herd. Is that the local team? And I live in Appleton, so sorry. Yeah, so they invited us to attend that game, and we're recognized there. So
That's
Great.
awesome.
Yeah.
I love how much it seems like you guys get out into the community, and how much you invite the community in to the BSU. I like that exchange of ideas and of personnel. That's pretty great.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I think you answered most of
Yeah.
them. This is
That's
great.
awesome.
Thank you.
I love the allow discomfort. I love
Yeah.
that. It's so crucial.
Yeah.
I think you guys are doing a great job.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
I'm glad you started that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
I didn't know
amazing.
there wasn't anything before.
No.
Yeah. Just a comparison between the schools. West is significantly less diverse, and North is a lot more diverse. So
Yeah.
if you ever have time to look up the recent statistics, it's very astronomical.
That's why it's nice that you guys can do stuff together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Invite each other to stuff.
Yeah, we did Camp Light together
Yeah, I was
over
just
the
gonna
summer.
say that.
Or we'll
What
go
is
on-
Camp Light? Can you explain more about that?
Yeah, so my supervisor, Anthony Miller, he helped to create that camp with Fox Valley Tech. It's a partnership with also Appleton Area School District. And I think it's open to middle school through high school students. And they're able to, they experience different career paths throughout the week. And then we took a field trip to Secura Insurance as well to experience the different career fields there. So it's like partnering with local communities. I think we went to Myron Construction as well. So yeah, we're able to have different activities, like hands-on activities with Fox Valley Tech. We did like VR headsets once.
And driving a semi truck.
My
favorite.
Learning about being a what do you call the people that fix the semi?
CDO.
Technicians or mechanics?
Technician. Yeah, I'm a mechanic. So they tried the torque on a big mechanic wheel, all kind like riding a lawnmower, you know, all
That's
these
so cool.
things. Super fun. So.
I love all the hands-on stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they'll do those things together, go on field trips together to different colleges. So. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming and talking to us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
our pleasure.
Really appreciate you taking the time out.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, of
we
course.
appreciate you guys.
If you have any questions, Chanel has my email. So
Okay.
feel free to reach out.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Here's the clicker. Thank you for this opportunity.
Of course.
Thank you.
So now we actually have an agenda item. Look at us. Look at us having an agenda item. So this is, we are going to review and discuss the DEI equity framework that was lovingly prepared by Andy Tillman. Take it away.
Sure. I can jump into it. So just to give it a little bit of context, the thought behind this is really just to look at like what we're doing as a city currently, where maybe some gaps, where maybe some areas that we don't know, and then be able to build on that or fill in the gaps of areas that maybe are missing. So I think maybe what would be best for our time, I'll just quickly like skim over some of what I put in here, like preliminary options of like things that we could act on right away. And what I'm hoping maybe the outcome of today's discussion would be is maybe for us to identify a couple that seem actionable, like, hey, let's pursue these, or be able to identify, hey, we know we're already doing this, and then maybe how can we make sure the general public knows more about this, or like how's it going right now, build upon it, that sort of thing. So those are my two thoughts. So again, that's kind of the general context, and I'm just going to quickly skim over the preliminary options, and then I'll stop talking because I'm sure other people might have thoughts. And by preliminary options, I mean like, so when I put this together, I just put together a list of things that, you know, I've read about or seen like other communities do, or thought like, hey, this would be a good way to have something tangible, actionable. So one thought was to require equity impact reviews on policy. And again, I guess let me preface, some of these areas, I don't know, we may already be doing it. And so if we are, that's one of the areas I want to identify. Like, hey, if someone's aware of like, we're already doing this, then let's talk about like, okay, how well is that going? How public and knowledgeable is it, and stuff like that. So I want to preface that beforehand before I start reading through. So one would be like requiring equity impact reviews on policy, and by that I mean anytime there's some sort of policy that's passed or something that is being put into place, development or something like that, there needs to be some sort of equity impact review, saying like how would this impact different communities, different groups, different parts of the city differently, and making sure that equity is being taken into consideration through everything, in order to guard against like having policies that unintentionally harm specific areas or residents. And again, it's probably usually unintentional. It's just if we're not taking steps to review that every time, that can just snowball. Another thing is just very simple, expanding staff training, and even elected official training and stuff like that on equity. And I think that's pretty straightforward what that looks like and just how that could benefit. Conducting community trust and satisfaction surveys. I know we've done this in the past. Like I've seen that. I've taken them through, what's the city survey thing? that we did?
Holco.
And so I know we've done that in the past, and so this would just like be building on that, like, hey, what have we done in the past? What does it look like to have like a rhythm of doing that, you know, annually or biannually or whatever, maybe that already exists, to like, and being able to talk about how do we make that, you know, even more visible, especially to us, but to the general public, of like what are the results and stuff like that. And I know a lot of good work has been done there, but I think it'd be worth just, at least for this committee, to continue talking about things like that. Another thing would be to standardize and publicize city data. So this is tied into other things, so maybe I shouldn't have put this right here. I tried to kind of organize these in some sort of logical fashion of what I thought would be easiest or most important to prioritize first. But the standardized public and publicized city data is tied to a lot of other things that we're already doing, things that we may end up doing, is being able to say, hey, what is the standard practice of how do we get this one spot on the website or something like that? Or if it is already there, like how do we maybe as a committee, how do we take specific actions to, you know, run a promotional or some sort of campaign, communication campaign to say like, hey, people be aware that this exists. We want our residents to know that. Enhance police accountability monitoring. I don't know what's already being done around that, but just monitoring like police activity and saying, are there disparities about, you know, like different actions, and being aware of that. And if there's not, we can celebrate and say, how do we make sure it continues to be equitable? And if there are things we can identify, saying like, hey, what actions need to be taken to help make that more equitable. Publishing an annual city equity report. So then this again is probably tied into a lot of things. Is a lot of things would feed into every year being able to do something where we're able to present the citizens saying like, hey, this is how we're doing. These are what we're ranking ourselves. I think you said at one point maybe we're doing this. We do have something like this.
We do have. Well, we follow the MEI index, which
Sure.
is the Municipal Equity Index. And when we look at our policies around the Municipal Equity Index, which is focused on the LGBTQ plus community, we also look at all of our policies for every
perfect, yeah.
every classification or people who might be underrepresented when we do that. And I certainly have some of these things I'd love to share today, and then others maybe we can actually spend time going through them, in future meetings.
Yeah,
'Cause,
that's my thought.
there's a lot of things we are doing, but obviously we're not going to probably hit them all today.
Right, and yeah, that's my thought too. That's why, and I should have read a little bit more of the context. The idea again of this conversation is just really exploratory and saying, okay, what are the next steps? What are the things we first want to focus on? So that's good to hear. So another thing would be developing a civic leadership pipeline. Of just saying like, hey, what are underrepresented communities amongst our elected officials, amongst our city staff, and stuff like that, and saying, what would that look like to build some intentional pipelines? So like even thing, I think of tonight we had BSU present, that would be awesome to be able to say, hey, what would that look like to bring someone from our commission in there and say, hey, do you know what it looks like to run for office once you're old enough? Some of them might be 18 now, and being able to intentionally say like, where are the underrepresented areas we know within our city, and how can we intentionally make sure that those pipelines are accessible. Department equity action plans, I think some of that exists already, but just kind of streamlining some of that, and infrastructure equity review. So this is similar to what I mentioned before of like an equity review and everything, but this is more of reviewing what already exists. Like, hey, looking at the infrastructure around the city, like are there certain neighborhoods or certain areas that we know maybe don't get enough attention or something like that, and just being able to say like, what does that look like? I know that conversation happens a little bit, and just like putting a little bit more push on how can we bring that conversation to the forefront. Department level equity audits, I think that's pretty straightforward. Just like you said, some of this, I forgot what you called it, that MEI?
Yes, the
MEI, and
Municipal
saying like,
Equity Index,
how do we
yes.
expand that and make sure, that's streamlined across things. And then procurement transparency and bias review, very similar again to the equity review on policies, but a little bit different. Just more transparency around, hey, what are the practices? And we have some of that already, but it's just, again, some of this stuff is just making it more public and accessible of what maybe is already happening. And then I think the last thing I have on here is strengthen community engagement standards. So I will back up, and I guess I'll stop talking and see if anyone has initial thoughts, initial ones that pop out, says, hey, I know we're doing this, or how can we emphasize this, or I don't think we're doing this, what would this look like? I'll stop talking and see if anyone has anything.
So I think that, because I printed this on construction paper because I have children. But I looked through this before, and I think that the thing that we could do first, I think, could be the strengthen community engagement standards part, specifically the availability of accessible materials. I think looking at the website, we could look at the website, see where accessibility fails. The city website is slightly confusing, I would say, as a citizen who is pretty computer savvy. It's still annoying for me. And I think we could look at that, expanding the translation stuff, simplifying the website, simplifying the forms. That seems like something that we could recommend that City Council looks into. I think that totally makes sense. The thing that I think we touched on for a second that would be amazing is the developing civic leadership pipelines. I think that is like what this committee was like built to do, like that kind of thing. I think it would be easy enough to figure out the diversity of the boards and the commissions, like we all have eyeballs, and can look at photographs of people and can ask, like we have everyone's email address. You can just, we could send out a survey, here's some demographic information. And then we could start building partnerships with the BSU, like trying to get outside groups linked in with city government, with here's the positions, here's exactly what it takes to be on these committees, what it takes to be on these commissions, what it takes to be in these offices. Reducing the application barriers, I think this, and that also feeds into the accessibility of the engagement standards too, is making the form simpler and making, like, I think that those two things are the things that we could really focus on.
I think a lot of people don't know even that these committees exist.
No, they don't. They have not a clue.
Right, I didn't know.
Mhm.
So, until I was here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's no word in the communities of here's what we have, here's what we can offer, here's where you get involved and do it.
Yeah,
And
and anyone can get involved, so.
It's a struggle when you want to be informed and then you're having, like was mentioned with the website, accessibility options to find that information.
Yeah.
You find yourself kind of lost, and people, I mean, I can speak for myself, you'll look for 5 to 7 seconds and then at that point you're giving up and you're going on to the next thing.
So one of the points I really thought was strong on that section was identifying departments already using strong engagement methods, because I think, we always remember the point when we were frustrated, but I
Yeah.
have successfully found many things on the city site.
Yeah.
And so maybe looking for those models and building from those, I think would help us find better ways to move forward with that. I guess.
Yeah, like
goal.
finding the strengths and then
And then
improving the weaknesses.
well, trying to replicate that across
Yeah.
the site if they're pinch points for us.
I'm going to share the inverse, which is also the exact same, is Mayor Matt and I will often have conversations of how can we get more people to apply. Like we talk about it at council meetings, we put it on the website, we put it on the, so it's very frustrating because we're trying to get it out as many ways as we can think of, and it's not reaching the people that need to hear it. So I especially love the idea of the pipeline of how can we bring that out to the people and let them know.
Yeah, because the people who are already watching the council meetings
Yes.
and who are already going to committee meetings, like that's a pool of people, and we need to the pool
Right.
needs to get bigger.
Right.
So yeah, that.
So it almost becomes
Yeah.
insular then when we're the feedback loop is closed and inside of the same.
Yeah. I also I'm unaware of the police accountability monitoring that's happening currently. But if that's not something in place and that's something that we could work towards, I think that could be, that transparent data could only help the city of Oshkosh rather than hurt. And
Yeah.
if it is, it's something to focus on during the next quarter or next calendar year to be progressing forward rather than backward with that
Yeah.
transparency and accountability.
Yeah, and like you said, like, and the same for me, like, when I look at it, it's like, I'm unaware of it, and I don't, and like, it may already be happening, and that's one of those areas where it's like, and that ties into what we were saying before, because I looked on the website and stuff and tried to find, and like, if it does exist, then it becomes it's already happening, how do we just make sure, like, we make the website more accessible, where it's easy to find those numbers, or if it's not happening, then that, it's a different issue, but, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know what the data visualization and analysis budget for the city is. I happen to be married to a data scientist who does data analytics and visualization every single day for his job. And I showed him some of this, and he was like, well, who will do it and with what money? Because
I can answer that. The budget is zero. Always.
Yes, okay, that's what I
Assume.
That's what I figured. Yeah, because I was
we do have.
because like a resident friendly data hub sounds so nice. But it's so hard to.
Yeah, well, I mean, there is an initiative that we are undergoing right now to revamp the website.
Oh, good.
That is something that City Manager Grill felt very strongly about when she came. And we hired a communication and engagement manager who started last week. Last month, I'm sorry, last month. And part of his upcoming projects, and there are many, is revamping the website between his job as well as our information technology people.
Okay.
So that is actually something that I think we have all recognized, that our website is difficult to navigate. We also have been working on website accessibility in translations, as well as people who need to use e-readers.
Oh, yes.
That is something that has been focused on by the city, and all of our website, as far as I understand it, is compliant for e-readers at this time. Now, that doesn't mean it's easy to find stuff. I exactly understand what you guys are saying. And that's where I think the revamp is really going to help people better find what they're looking for more quickly, so that, I don't have a huge patience when it comes to finding stuff. I tell my team, if I haven't gotten the gist of something in about 10 seconds, I might not be continuing. So that's definitely something that the city is working on right now. Now, is it going to take time to revamp the website? Absolutely. But I can tell you it is one of the priorities of City Manager Grow right now.
Okay, wonderful.
But perhaps that's something that we could use, I know this is outside of work hours, but we could ask, if the new hire would be willing to come in here and actually present on, here's areas we identified, and that we want to fix. And even us being able to talk, but also be able to present that to the community, like, hey, we are seeing these things. And other people might, if you have a couple people looking at it, but, maybe other people watch online, hopefully we have some other people say, hey, I've had these issues, let me bring it up now while you're fixing it. So again, I know it's outside of work hours, so we can't require it, but.
I would fully expect that Drew will be here in not too.
Okay,
Drew's
great.
his name. He's got
Yep.
a great haircut, just like me. Very organic.
Love it.
And he has led these initiatives in another community
That'd be
before.
awesome.
So
Okay.
he got the job for a reason. And
Okay,
he's
great.
very well vamped at what we need to do for communication and rebranding as well, but also making it.
So it sounds like it's perfect timing to do some of this, because we want to just make sure we're ahead of it. And same thing with the commissions too, as we're talking about that, because in May a bunch of seats will open up, right? And so it's perfect time to try to see.
Or not.
Or not. It's true. People ask.
Well, and then I think something else that the website could, I think it's sort of a combination of the leadership pipelines and like making the website more streamlined, is maybe there needs to be a section that's like, get involved. Like, I want to be involved in city government. I want to be involved somehow. And then from there, it can, be like commissions with seats open, or like how to run for office, or careers in city government. Something.
All that in like a separate.
Yeah, all of that in, because right now you have to go to like,
Is it, how do I?
so there's, but it's just, so get involved, okay, with boards/commissions, but then there's probably.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's perfect.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, that's the whole point of this. And I will say, I've dealt with other municipal websites. I actually think we have a pretty good one compared to some other ones I've used.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But there's always room for improvement. I think that's what we're saying is like, okay, what are those next steps? It's exciting to hear there was a new hire, and then we can talk about what are the things we identify right
Yeah.
now. And one of those might be is maybe a more clear call to action
Yeah.
of just what to,
Like, there's a place for you in city government. Like, however you want to get involved, like, there's probably a place for you here.
The thing is, if they're not going to our website, what is a
Exactly.
way to reach out to
Exactly.
these people to
Yeah.
get
Right.
more
Yeah.
minorities on these
I
commissions
know.
and these boards?
I know.
And again, Drew's title is Communications and Engagement. So, a main goal of that position is to better engage the community. So that, again, he's only been here a few weeks. Let's not put too much pressure on Drew yet, as he's trying to figure out where he should, like, clock
Where
in
the
every day.
boxes are.
So,
Yeah, he's figured
but
out
he's seems very excited to
Okay.
dig in and really help us, again, improve that engagement, which again was the vision of City Manager Grill, to really drive the engagement with the community more.
And now you can take this back
Yeah,
and let them know, hey, this is what we do, and
Yeah.
hopefully somebody will be interested.
because like looking around at the boards and commissions and then looking around at the city, it's like,
Unrepresented.
it's very unrepresented, it's not a representative.
For sure.
I think also maybe having like a little bit of what you guys do and like post it on social media, because I know like if you're trying to reach out to like younger audiences, like how old do you have to be on the board?
18.
18. So like 18-year-olds, freshly 18-year-olds, like myself, like if my mom wasn't on the committee, I wouldn't even know about this. So posting like on social media a little bit of what you do and like jobs that kind of form around the committee, and maybe that could draw people in as well, so it could be a little more like diverse and stuff like that. Or like even reach out to the schools and hey, are you interested in doing this? Are you interested in stuff with the government? And like so just like
Yeah.
finding your
maybe
people.
maybe the BSU could also just maybe an activity in the future could be like learning about government jobs or learning about city commissions and stuff like that. That could be
Yeah, because I know
Focusing.
like
Yeah.
our there's a couple people like our president Micah, he's like interested in like working with like the government and like stuff like that. So like this would be something great to go back
yeah,
and tell them.
seriously, yeah,
So-
that'd be amazing.
Don't we have youth seats on some of the?
We do, but
Right.
like we don't have anyone in them.
Yeah, I don't know if they're continuing with
I
the
was
new
just saying, did we get
seats.
rid of those?
But I mean, a couple things that we do engage with we'll say younger people, is the youth leadership. Oshkosh was here. They came and we talked to them about all of the jobs and stuff that we have here at the city, and how basically my HR generalist basically said, you tell me what you're interested in and I can probably find a job that matches it
Yep.
here at the city. Also, we have the Boys and Girls Club scheduled to bring a group here. I believe it's actually next week or the week after. They're bringing a group here. So we do try to engage
Yeah.
those younger people to help them learn about government jobs, what we do here. And, I mean, is there more we can do? Absolutely. But there are some good things happening to help our youth learn a little bit more about government. And certainly our police and fire spend a lot of time throughout the community, in the schools, things like that, to educate the hopefully up and coming people who are going to work in government as well. So.
I think. Sorry, keep going.
I think it would be powerful to showcase some of the examples, like you're showing the survey on the screen here. And so there's survey results, but it's just a list of surveys that have happened over the years. There have to be
Yeah.
points of pride in there. There have to be really cool things that are happening, but
Yeah.
we're not, what we see is a wall of
Can
the
you
surveys,
click on the
right?
dashboard and can we just like see what is happening?
Or-
oh, it is Tableau. Okay.
Or the MEI that you mentioned.
Yeah.
What's the comparison of that to other neighboring communities, or
Yep.
how have we improved over time, or
Oh, I would love to tell you all about that.
and I would love to hear it.
And
but I
we've
have
presented
lived
it
into
here
the
before,
point, though,
just
I
none
have-
of you were here yet.
Right. However, I've lived in Oshkosh for almost 20 years and didn't know about it. Right. So we
There
weren't
is room
here
for
in this room,
yeah.
but I'm gonna say as a resident of Oshkosh for 2 decades, I didn't know about it. So I do think that that's
I
something.
don't think it's 2 decades old, but it's
Yeah.
I am.
the MEI index. I don't
I
think
know,
it's 2
I
decades
I
old.
understand, but I'm saying that there are things that could be better made known to.
Yep, absolutely.
And I think it comes back to the point we were talking before. A lot of these things I think are happening. It's just us figuring out like where like you brought up before, Carla, like that. Like we are making points to communicate through our Facebook page and website and stuff like that. And so we just it's a lot of hard work. I mean, this is what I do for my day job, too. I know that it's a lot of hard work to find out like why aren't people seeing our message. And I think we're a commission that probably makes sense that we could take that on and say like, why are there reasons people aren't hearing? And that is a
Yeah.
hard thing to figure out. Like, where are people looking for the information that isn't in the spots that we're using?
Not so
feel-
much Facebook anymore.
No.
I feel like it's
that's-
a hard line of we want people to meet where people are versus like where are they meeting us
exactly.
and,
Yep.
and getting that push and pull. But I think that, I mean, the obvious answer is the engagement piece and how we can be better engaged with others and
Yeah.
not just showing, but educating and getting people excited to know about what's happening in Oshkosh, whether that be the municipality,
Equity and
Equity index, yeah. Ooh, that's the word of the week.
Everybody's stuck on
Yep,
that one.
Yep, MEI. And I mean, I think it's great to even once a year, annually, highlight that on the Facebook page or
Yeah.
highlight that. I mean, I don't know if we utilize TikTok, but part of reaching the younger generation is meeting what they're most streaming on. And the two biggest things right now are Instagram and TikTok, and that's what people look at.
Yeah.
I still use Facebook, so I'm not gonna
No, me
I'm
too.
not
I
gonna
don't.
shame it. I love Facebook.
I use them all.
And I wonder even, one of the things I was gonna bring up before, like if there's ways that we can find to partner with OASD and say like, hey,
Yeah.
what are you all doing to communicate with your students? Could we find, whether it be pipeline or other things where it's like, hey, we're trying to communicate through, these are our channels right now, Facebook, whatever, and say like, we know that like we struggle to, I don't know if we know that, to reach, high school students or something like that. Like, how can we partner with you to reach your students or something? I'm sure they would love to partner with us. And so, I think like avenues like that, even just talking to some of our partnering, I don't know what you call them, partnering agencies or government bodies or whatever.
Or even UWO and
Exactly.
going there. I mean,
Do the schools still have student government? Do they still have?
Yes.
Okay. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, what if there's some partnership between the student governments at West and North with a government? Is that something that happens, like a job shadowing student
I know
government?
they, I know they do some stuff for student council up in Madison with like shadowing and like jobs like that, and they attend like this like group meeting with like kids from all around Wisconsin, and it's like an all-day thing. So I
Okay.
know they do that up in Madison. but-
Okay.
It'd be nice to do something local.
Yeah, it'd be nice to do like a Fox Valley, or start with Oshkosh. But I think we need to get on like the ground.
So a couple
Yeah.
of things, I think, over the next few meetings, I can schedule some time to share with you guys more of what we are doing, right?
Okay.
The police, they have an annual report every year. They do advertise their annual report, but what I'm hearing is a lot of people don't know about it. There's a whole bunch of things that we're doing when it comes to trying to improve equity within the city that, again, the citizens may not know about. I printed some of them out. It's MEI. I printed that out earlier. So certainly we have been working on educating our employees since I've been here on, inclusiveness, civility, bias, the history of DEI, inclusiveness, altogether, sustainability. We've been doing all sorts of trainings with our employees over the last 5-6 years. And I'm sure before that, that's when I really got involved, was about 7 years ago. So there's all these great things that we are doing, but I think some of the point is you guys don't know about them.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So-
think that's exactly, and I want to reiterate, even as I was, writing this stuff like that, like, I assumed we were probably doing a lot of these things, and like you said, it's just like, okay, I don't know where to find these, so maybe a lot of these things come down to, like, reevaluating our communications and maybe doing some sort of campaign,
Right.
again, which sounds like it's a perfect time with a new communications person, so.
Yeah, we do have also citywide metrics that are part of our strategic plan that are on our website, where we do track all sorts of things throughout the organization. Some of our workforce ones are first here. And some
how'd
of
you
them are
get here?
DEI related and some of them aren't specifically.
How'd you get to this page?
Is that from the city website?
This is on the city website. I
Okay.
linked it. This is from our strategic
Can you
plan.
send us these links, or can we
Yeah.
publish them?
Yep, I sent a couple of them with,
Yeah, okay.
but not all
Sure.
of them. But yeah, this is out there underneath our strategic plan, which if I go back to the actual strategic plan, so I just linked myself a couple of these so I didn't have to scroll through. But, the entire city's strategic plan is out there. And there certainly are a lot of initiatives to really drive engagement as well as better services, I should say better services to the citizens throughout our strategic plan. And again, I think some of it's that you don't know what we're doing. One of them, and I just remember this off the top of my head, for Public Works, when I was talking to them a few years back about how do we measure equity for Public Works, right? Like, how do you do that? Well, one of the scores that we measure is a PASER score. And probably no one in here cares what a PASER score is, but it's actually your streets themselves, and if they are being taken care of, and if we are making sure we are doing that equitably. These things are all things that we think about, but I don't know that the community knows we're thinking about these things, that we're measuring to make sure that streets are not, we're not saying, oh, this neighborhood, because it's $1 million houses, get better streets than this neighborhood because it's $100,000 houses. All of those things are looked at and evaluated, again, with that equity eye that we want for the city. So again, I think there's opportunity for us to share some of these things, because I just remember when I sat down with Public Works about their equity, like, what are they going to measure? They were a little bit like,
And that's one of the reasons, this is one of the reasons I put this as the very first item, the require equity impact reviews. Because it's what you're talking about. Well, it's partially what you're talking about. Part of it is the infrastructure equity too, but a big part of it is equity impact reviews both on policy and like Public Works or infrastructure, stuff like that. So I guess my question is, do you know, like, when they propose something or they're going to do something, like, is there a required space to give a report, or it's more so they're just keeping it in mind?
I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure.
So so when something's going to be done, when something's proposed,
Like an infrastructure thing or something else?
just anything, I guess,
Okay.
infrastructure, new ordinance, new like, is there a place where even just like a paragraph or something where it says like, here, we've done an assessment on equity, like we see like how this could, adversely affect this community, or this is who it's impacting, and we know, and this is the precautionary measures we're taking to make sure it's more equitable. Like, because I'm sure there's a lot of people who are thinking about those things, but I think there's a difference when there's like a requirement, say, okay, now show us like what you did and how you're making sure to be equitable in it. Does it make sense? There's one thing I'm thinking about it, and another thing is like I'm showing you what I thought about and what I'm doing.
Yeah, I don't know that there's a lot of documented I thought about thises in our processes. Like you said, I mean, we have trained our employees to use a DEI lens when they're developing policies, procedures, ordinances, all of those things, and think about how it affects different groups of people. Do they report on all of that? Other than questions from the council, who asks those questions often during the meetings, no, I don't think there's any formal reporting on the thought process itself.
Okay, yeah, and that's one of the reasons I asked that, is because, that was one of the reasons I wanted to propose it, and I recognize that this specifically would probably be like a whole, whatever ordinance, or I don't have my terminology, that would have to be like, hey, this is required, so that you need to document like this portion of it. And I think that could help tracking, going back and say, what was the thought process? And even, if residents want to keep up and say like, hey, I feel like this is overlooked, be able to say, no, we did think about this, and here's, other things. And it's easier, I think, for people to give input of like, hey, we see you thought about this, but you might have missed X, Y, and Z, because we don't all know everything. And I think that's why maybe some sort of process to say, hey, we need a documented what happened could be helpful. And I personally, I would love to explore something like that, because I think, for me, I think that's almost preventative of the rest of these things. It's almost necessary, like, first step, where it's helping fill the holes that we might not be aware of before we, shovel out the water from the boat. But that's my thought. I don't know if other people, or if I'm not making sense, let me know and I can clarify, or I can try. Does that make sense, kind of what I'm asking, or the reasoning behind it too? Okay.
Just like knowing that people are keeping, like following the standard and keeping that
Right.
in mind.
Because most of these things, again, and I think most of the time it's unintentional, but it can snowball, unintentionality, like, and so if we don't have some sort of SOP for like standard operating procedure where it's like, here is the process of how you check equity and here's how you report it, it can easily get missed or looked over or something like that.
Sure.
So I guess in a nutshell, I'll just summarize. My thought process around this, I think it would be worthwhile maybe to look at like what other municipalities have done around that and say like, hey, like what has helped other people do this, and could we propose something like that to council that might help us take the same steps?
Carl, what do you think? Do you have advice for us? Be wise.
So
Carl, you've been so quiet
I
today.
know.
I'm
Soaking in it?
trying to learn. Trying to learn how to not talk and dominate the conversation. No, I pulled up the board and commission manual PDF, which there's the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Committee ordinance referenced as 241. When it was created, it's non-statutory, but the item number 4, the bullet point 4, is one of our charges is within 1 year of creation, which I think was quite a while ago, report to the city manager and common council with goals of the community, identify 5 to 7 equity performance measures for each city department developed by each department and approved by the committee, and additional resources necessary to achieve said goals. So I was going over like our overall charge and how this is basically all facilitating into that. Do you know even, was that ever?
Yeah, was that ever done?
Yes, it was. I did it.
Okay.
Yes. Hence, when I was talking to Public Works to go, what would you like to measure?
Yeah,
So
sure.
yes, we did identify metrics for every department. Many of them are on that page that I
Okay.
showed you before. I would need to refresh myself since I only took responsibility for the HR ones at that time.
Can
But
we
yes.
possibly get a copy of that for the next meeting?
Yeah, let me
Okay.
see what I can find.
Thank you.
Thank you for putting this together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
thank you.
amazing, Really.
Andy, have you ever run for city council or thought about it?
Well, it's too late for this round.
Right.
There'll be another round though.
Sure.
Every year.
There's always room for a write-in.
Yeah.
So you're
But
saying,
yeah.
well, we can't do electioneering here. Never mind. No.
Oh yeah, let's not electioneer.
Is there anything in here that we can recommend to city council today, or are we still in the information gathering?
I think once we
Phase.
know more information
Yeah.
next month, we'll be able to
Yeah.
make a more guided decision.
The only other thing that I'll comment on the Oshkosh Police Department is they are superbly highly accredited and documented. So I would be shocked if everything wasn't already reported and measured, and we achieved the highest accreditations consistently there. And so Dean Smith is very, very proud of that, and the leadership team there. So that's, again, just how do we communicate that and how do we make that available for everybody?
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So should we decide on like maybe a few things that we'll bring up at next meeting? So I know there's a few items that, Michelle, you said that you would bring back that we can review. In the meantime, talk about like the original points from when this commission was founded, if you could provide those. What were some of the other things we talked about?
Just like general engagement with
With the community.
the community.
Right. And that is definitely, I feel, one of the main goals of this committee is to help bring those voices to the city. Because I think the city was looking for more ways to get the word out and back to the city about what's going on in the community. It's one of the reasons why we usually invite oh goodness, the Hmong Service Center in every year or two. We used to have a member of the DEI committee, but then she's also come in and talked to us and also shares things about the city with that group. You know, again, those groups that might not otherwise be paying attention to the services of the city or the voice of those that group, for example. And part of what we try to do here as a committee is share what is going on so that this committee can take those words out and bring groups in so they can learn a little bit about us, and hopefully the community can learn about them as well. So that has definitely been one of the cornerstones of what we've been trying to do with this committee, is get more people in the community who do know what's going on here, who do know what resources we have, to make sure that we are helping all aspects of the community.
So one other point that I'll add that I had brought up a few months ago, I think, is in addition to the satisfaction surveys, I would love to see also like listening sessions of some kind added, because I think survey data is great, but it tends to be quantitative, and so a way to gather more qualitative information would be helpful. I think, especially if we look at the data, which, I mean, it's there, absolutely, but if we look at the data and see that there are things that we want to explore more, I mean, I'm willing to go talk with people at a listening session. I
Same.
feel like that could be part of this group's charge.
Yeah.
So that's something that we could consider.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone a couple weeks ago about some of our DI commission stuff, and they had brought up, they appreciated that, you know, we bring people in, like you're saying, and they actually kind of alluded to that, saying like, what, you know, like what would it take for the DI commission to maybe send their members to those spaces instead of always bringing, and obviously it would be on all of us to volunteer our time, but I think that's a great idea, like whether it's a formal listening commit or session, or it's just like, hey, you know, like we want to go learn about this group. Let's send one of our members, you know, like, or a few like I said, obviously that would take so much volunteering time and pre-planning that, but I think probably most of us here, some at least would be interested as long as it works with schedules. I know I would.
I've done a lot with UWO, so I'd be more than willing to, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know what that looks like organizationally. I don't know how we like plan that and say like, hey, here's a group. I mean, maybe even if people are watching, like put it out there and say like, hey, invite us to your spaces.
Yeah.
But even as we reach out and say, will you come? Like maybe that's the like second invite. Like, could some of us show up? And if they have an open invitation, to let our team know, like, hey, there's someone who's not able to come, or they're coming in a few months. They even have an open invitation for whatever date or whatever time. Here's so maybe that's like a second part of whenever we're doing those invitations is, could we show up and see what you're doing?
Right. Come back and report on it.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
I like that.
But I don't want to hijack. I like the idea of formal listening sessions too, because I think that's separate. Might overlap a little bit. but-
Multiple mechanisms.
Yeah, I like that.
Even I've talked to Rebecca and obviously with Drew on one of the things that the school board does is they do twice a month listening sessions where you can come in and actually have back and forth. When we're up there, if it's not an agenda item, we can't have back and forth with you, which feels really crappy sometimes when you're like, I hear you, I'll talk to you tomorrow. But doing more of those listening session type opportunities for the Common Council as well, just where we can get together, because we do workshops which are pretty formalized. We do, everything is kind of us talking to each other, but want to make sure that we can open that up as well. That'll be Drew's like third week, maybe.
He'll know where the bathroom is.
And I think like Andre, you brought this up before too. Is like when we do stuff like that, I think it's important that we keep in mind that like we're not always expecting people to come here.
Yeah.
Like finding like how can we go do
Meet
this
people
at your
where
space?
they are.
Yeah.
Whatever space that is. But.
And they may have better ideas of how to get
Oh, totally.
our stuff out there.
Yeah.
Especially when you go talk to youth groups and things like
Yeah.
that. They have such great ideas about how to do things better than us old people.
Oh, yeah.
There's power in word of mouth for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like all those, thank you. This was a rich text.
I'm gonna read it some more at home with a highlighter.
Yeah, I gotta go back. I had 2 highlighters going on. And a pen.
And construction paper.
And
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know where my children stole all my regular paper.
I'll say, I threw this together pretty fast, so I will not be offended if you go through and say like, hey, you missed a part, or like, let's add, like, that's what this was meant to be. It was not
Okay.
meant to be like, hey, here's my report. It was meant to be like, starting a conversation, so you may go through and say like, I think you overlooked this, or we're totally missing these 3 items, like, I think that would really help the commission for other people to be able to do that too.
Okay.
And I want to go through this and go through the website.
Yeah, me
and
too.
kind
Yeah.
of say, hey, nope, this is here and this is here and
Yeah.
this we've got, and yeah.
I think next month will be really helpful because you'll have that information
Yeah.
for us.
Yep,
and-
I'll bring the
I'll do our
metrics,
homework.
and, I mean, I'd be
Data
happy to
party.
take a deep, well, maybe not a deep dive, but dive into some of these. Obviously, I'm not the expert on everything that the city does by far. My team works on the municipal equity index. That's something that we tend to do in my department. That's why I have more personal knowledge of it than others within the city. But, you know, obviously, a lot of these initiatives are other departments within the city.
It's a great place to start then, because we
Yeah.
have your expertise in
Yeah.
that part, and
Yeah.
thank you.
Cool. Anything else on this large topic? So I think we all have a good place to start from for next month. Wonderful. Thank you so much for bringing this. So now it's time for committee member roundtable to share DEI-related activities. And I know that the Unity Care Fair is coming up on March 21st. Oh, you already have the thing
Have it up, ready to go.
Did you want to tell us all about it?
Saturday, March 21st, from 11 to 3 at Val Phillips. Through the gymnasium door 4 is the Unity Care Fair. Lots of participating groups.
It looks amazing.
Right. There's so much happening.
There's going to be essential resources, food pantry support, haircuts, braiding services.
Community info.
Yeah.
Job opportunities. Just sounds amazing. So
And
this is-
Bluey's going to be there.
Right.
Guys, I buried the lead. Bluey's going to be there.
Yeah.
I had to throw them in there.
I
That's
mean,
a big-
we need her.
I mean,
So
that's a big
it's
event.
Yeah, it's going to be Saturday, March 21st, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Val Phillips, the door 4 into the gym, and it's free. And it looks like it's going to be an amazing event.
Yes,
So-
I'm super excited.
Yeah.
Also, we are starting a drive today. We are collecting hygiene items, laundry items, all of that. All of that is on Unity Oshkosh Facebook page too, which I think.
And where can people bring those for the collection?
To Seppo.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know the address. I know it's on Congress, but Seppo have a mailbox right outside.
Okay.
You could just throw it. Well, don't throw it.
Gently deposit
Just
it.
nicely. Yes, or if it's something big like a laundry basket, yes, that you just set it nicely
Okay.
outside, and one of us will go by and just start collecting, picking it up, and
Awesome.
rounding it up for the fair.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, super
I'm
excited.
look at all the
got
amazing
over
list
so
of
much.
there's
Over 42, and I think it's still growing. Like, someone texted me last night, well,
Yeah.
emailed me last night, and I'm like,
like
There's a lot.
the school district, Goodwill, the post office, the food pantry, the Discover Oshkosh, like Oshkosh Public Library, Winnebago County Human Services, the Literacy Council, Head Start. It's like
This is a big
star-studded.
deal. Yeah.
I also didn't add Mia's group that she started, and it's called Rooted in Unity. So she would be talking more about her project.
Look
she
at
got
you
going
starting
on.
groups
I
left
have
and
no idea
right.
where she gets that from.
I know. Look at
So-
Genetics are a
Yeah.
heck of a thing.
So yeah, I hope everybody come.
Yeah.
Everybody come.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, are there any other amazing events? Probably. You always have a few.
Sure. So the Oshkosh Senior Center is doing an Irish Fun on Tuesday, March 10th from 5 to 7. So that is a ticketed event, so you do have to buy tickets for that. So if, again, Oshkosh Senior Center does a lot of great things to try to celebrate all sorts of different things. So that is coming up. Certainly on our website, as well as the Oshkosh Senior Center website, if anyone's interested. Let's see, so up in the Green Bay area, Beacons of the Bay. So let's see, they have an exhibit opening March 2nd through the 13th. It's a traveling exhibit honoring 9 queer elders from NEW. The exhibit includes a gallery exhibit. The exhibit includes a gallery exhibit, is what I'm reading here. So definitely something to check out up in that Green Bay area. Again, we have shared it on our DEI webpage here for the city. And those are the only ones I really earmarked.
So March is also Women's History Month, and I'm not finding easily on the UW Oshkosh page, but they always have through the WAGS program and the Women's and Gender Studies program, and also a bunch of different groups feature tons of discussions and events and exhibits. So the one that I'm finding is from 2012, so that's probably outdated.
Probably.
And I think it was mentioned kind of in passing by our presenter today, but it is Black History Month this month.
March 1st, there is a Drake Field paint party at the Fire Escape in Oshkosh. They are painting birthday plates, so if anyone's celebrating birthdays in March, it is a ticketed event, so you will need to buy a ticket through the Fire Escape. But yeah, that's happening right here in Oshkosh.
Yeah, I don't have anything else.
Voting.
Oh,
April
yeah.
7th.
Yes. Vote. Don't vote yet because you can't, but vote April 7th.
April 7th.
You have plenty of time to get to learn about all the different candidates, and please vote.
Make sure you're
because-
registered
Make
to
sure you're
vote.
registered before you go.
I was ready to be crabby about the move because I used to be able to just walk to my polling place, but I have to say I was super impressed with the different accessibility
Me too.
options available.
Yeah.
The fact that I'm sitting there thinking, what would my dad do if he wanted to vote? Well, he could park curbside, and so kudos. Like it was
Yeah,
well
the Culver
done.
Center.
You went
it
to
was
Culver.
it was love the Culver Center because I used to vote at the American Legion.
Me too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a pain and just not accessible. And the Culver Center was lovely. It was faster than before.
Even though there were more.
Yeah, there were more people, but it
I
was
think
faster.
there was 4 wards. Are there 4 different wards at
I
the
think
Culver
so.
Center?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, from what I've heard, it went well. Again, there's reasons why the city chose to move that for accessibility and just, power. Power is good. All of those things to make sure that citizens
As in
have a
having
good
electricity.
experience.
As in
Not-
having electricity.
Yes.
Yeah, that has been a great feedback. It's been one of my communication battles is to express to people we are not trying to disenfranchise voters or make it harder. We're actually trying to do the opposite. And one of the reasons that we didn't go with some of the other places that were an option is they weren't on a bus line or they're like she said, just literally wasn't enough power outlets to be able to facilitate the voting. So. We will get an update tomorrow night at the council meeting, but the councilors got a written report ahead of time. Went very well. Very pleased with a lot of the changes that happened. So excited about that. The one thing that we do need to work on is for those who are hitting refresh constantly, you'll see that it's reported as 100% precincts reported, and then there was a vote update after that, and that is only because central count has to be counted that day, and then now it physically has to be driven over there. It cannot be emailed or modemed or anything else like that. And so it was just that. So we're working on a way to make it say like, Not 100% yet
Yeah.
until that comes in.
So, do you have any information on voter turnout and if it was better or worse than other primaries?
Speak amongst yourself, and I don't know like amongst others, but
Yeah.
I can tell you.
Well, shout out to the poll workers at the senior center
Yes,
because they are
absolutely.
amazing and
Yep.
they're always, that's where I have to go and they are phenomenal.
Yeah, the poll workers were very charmed by my 5-year-old who I brought with me to, because my mom always brought me to vote with her, so I like to bring my kids to vote with me.
I love that.
Yeah, yeah, and he was very excited to hand the little like receipt thing to the lady to get the ballot, and he was very excited about his sticker, like so excited about his sticker. And then
That's the
he told
best
me
part.
he liked
Get
voting.
a sticker.
Yeah, he was like, I like voting here because it was pretty. Okay.
So we had 1,947 voted earlier absentee, and then 3,419 voted in the polling places on election day.
Okay.
I don't have historical because I've never had a primary in my run, so I
Okay.
don't. But I was Darla, our city clerk, was very happy to have a primary to like test all the new things
Yeah.
and everything to get to ramped up
Okay.
to
Well,
the election day.
We have 60,000+ people who live in this city. Please vote because that's not 60,000 people.
Double it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, just because local elections really matter.
Yes.
They do.
And there will be communication, I'm sure, upcoming about early voting again
Yes.
for this next election. So for those listening, stay tuned. There will
I
be more
voted,
information coming.
I voted in person early, and the only thing that made me sad about it is there was no ding when you put it in.
there's no ding?
No,
Oh,
so
I
I
like
did.
the ding.
I did it myself.
Oh, you got dinged. Okay, good.
Sold, you have a job. Election day, you
should
should
have stood there and made the ding for everyone else. Do we have any future items that, do you want to talk? Any
Our council
business?
agenda tomorrow is very, very streamlined.
All right.
Put it so, which means it'll go 4 hours for some.
Oh,
reason.
of course. Right.
There's not a whole lot.
Yeah, and we've kind of already discussed the future agenda items.
Yep, a couple things I'll bring back for
Cool.
next time. And do you recall who we have scheduled for next month?
Yep, next month is Day by Day Shelter.
Oh, cool, okay.
And then, what's next month? March. April is Rainbow Alliance
Oh, cool.
Advocacy from Appleton.
Awesome.
And then even May, we have, Carl, help me out. The Grand is coming in May.
Oh.
So it'll be Joe Furlow from the Grand.
Cool. Awesome. Thank
Thank
you.
you,
I like
Crystal.
having a little preview. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then Hunter was the second.